What's up here? How are you? Welcome to the Bloom Show. This is Sahid, your host. Sorry, a couple technical difficulties and we're running a little behind, but thank you for joining. The Bloom Show is by the floral industry for the floral industry, by the floral community for the floral community. And today, if you want to know what is up and how important Colombia is to our flower industry, this is the Bloom Show for you. So if you're in the floral industry, and you're like, where do our flowers come from? And I hear all this about Colombia here today. We are having Andres Castellanos, a representative of ProColombia today, to speak about the imports and where Colombia is headed. What's happening with Colombia. And it's such an important aspect of our floral business here in the US. I believe about 60% of flowers that would come into the US are actually from Colombia. So imagine how important that is. And secondly, grown to love Colombia because if you've never been to Colombia, the people in Colombia are amazing. So I truly believe in floral tourism. And there's something in Medellin that's amazing. And I'll ask Andres. He doesn't know that I'm going to ask him this question, but I'm going to ask him about Flower Festival of Colombia because there's such a great opportunity to really even get people like myself, you that are watching this show, to do tourism in Colombia because of our flower for flowers, our love for flowers, even though flowers mean love. But so I'm going to move forward and bring Andres Castellanos onto the show. And again, please feel free to ask questions. I know there's questions buzzing. And again, this show is very important for our community to feel that it's a part, the floral community to feel it's a part of this show. This show is really for us to all connect together because with information comes power, and with information comes unity and understanding and empathy. So it's really important that we're all connected with information. So feel free to chime in. If you don't know him, say hi. Nice to meet you. If you do know him, give him a shout out. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask questions. So without further ado, let me jump here. I'm a little rusty. Let me jump here and welcome them in. Thank you.
The bloom, showing if they connect and bloom. The bloom, showing if they connect and bloom.
Welcome, Andres. How are you, Andres? Felipe Castellanos, right?
Yes, that's right. Thank you very much for the invitation. We're also happy
No,
to be in here. Thank you.
it's a pleasure to have you as well. And I see you're the export manager at Agri-Foods, but at ProColombia. Can you share with us a little bit of your role and what you do with them?
Yeah, ProColombia is the promotion, export, investment, and tourism agency from the government of Colombia. We are part of the Minister of Trade, and our goal is to promote, especially in agribusiness, our food industry and the floral industry, that all the clients around the world can know about the benefits to buy in Colombia and try to increase our exports around the world.
Fantastic. And Colombia, again, just for the audience that doesn't understand the impact that Colombia makes, can you share a little bit of how much you do import into the US and around the world?
Um, yes, we have annually the total exports to from the Colombian exports to the world are around $6,000 million, and the half of that exports are non-mining exports, and the 80% of the non-mining exports are agribusiness exports, especially coffee, flour, and banana.
Okay, gotcha. And then the flour, what amount of flowers are being imported into the US?
Okay, according to 2024 data, the United States of America is the primary destination for Colombian fresh flowers, accounting for 79.8% of exports, which translates in $1.8 million, followed by Canada, the United Kingdom, and the Netherlands.
Wow. So then Canada's your second largest importer?
Yes,
Wow. And then you said Canada,
the United Kingdom,
United
UK,
Kingdom, UK,
and the Netherlands.
and Netherlands. Wow. And then are there any other little small ones around there as well? How are you doing with China
China
and Asia?
nowadays is a small market for us, but we
Okay.
have an important exports to Japan and to Korea.
Wow, that's fantastic. So you guys are reaching everywhere for sure. That's amazing. And then,
Yeah,
so go ahead. You were going to say something?
no. More than 150 countries uh, are destination for our flowers.
Got it. So another question here. Obviously, I think your team worked with my team, so kind of seeing these for the first time. But what is the value of the flower market in Colombia, and how does it compare to countries' other exports? So, for example, for coffee, we all know coffee is a huge export. I'm pretty sure people, rather live with coffee, choose coffee over flowers in some cases. I don't drink coffee, but I love how it helps my wife's mood sometimes. So that's great. So compared to other exports, how does flowers compare?
Flowers are Colombia's second largest non-mining energy export sector. As I
Wow.
said, the first is coffee, then the flowers. In 2024, Colombia fresh flower exports surpassed the total value of 2023, reaching $2.3 billion and 329,000 of tons. It's a really a huge business we have with the states. And then the Colombian flower exports grew at a compound annual growth rate of 9.8% between 2019 and 2024, and the impact of the floriculture sector in 2024 is the following: 11% of non-mining energy exports, then more than 80% of Colombia international air cargo,
Wow.
also 11% of contribution for the agricultural GDP, 28% of a total formal employment in agriculture. I think is one of the most important data we have. And then also 70% of total formal female employment in agriculture in Colombia. That's all the economic impact that the sector, the industry has in our country.
That's huge. I'd love if you could send that to me because that's a great thing to write about. Because that's a very big part of that. And what percentage of that, maybe you don't know, I know it's right off it's a random question. What percentage of that is based out of the US? So how big is our effect as a United States?
The exports are nearly the 90% to the States. Our main export destination is the States. And these exports give us all these benefits to our community, especially in the
Wow.
areas we grow the flowers. Yes.
And do you know how many people are employed by the flower industry in Colombia?
Uh, there are 2,100 direct and
200,000.
indirect jobs, and the 60%, as I said, is this workforce is female, and
Wow.
yeah,
And that's a huge thing, right? That's obviously a beautiful thing. And 200, so we are responsible for creating 90% of 200,000 jobs as a flower industry in the United States, approximately, give or take, correct?
approximately, yeah.
That's that's something to be proud of. That's amazing for the United States and all the great work you guys do, and Agosto Solanos as well. So, and Proflora. So that's amazing. Let's jump on to the next question. What varieties of flowers does Colombia produce, and what are the main flower varieties exported from Colombia to the world and to the United States?
I think that's another of our advantage. In 2024, four flower varieties represent nearly the 80% of Colombians' global fresh flower exports. The top exported product was the fresh flowers and cut buds, and many of
Okay.
them as known as bouquet. Many
Yeah.
kind of varieties that are
Yes.
inside the
Mixed up.
bouquets.
Mhm.
We export around 1 billion of these products, and is the mainly 50% of the total exports. And the leading destinations of these products are the United States with the 96%, and then Canada only with the 2%, and the United Kingdom with less than the 1%. And then appears the fresh roses, ranking the second, with exports reaching $391 million, around 18% of the share. And the main markets from the Colombian roses were the United States with 78%. Spain is a different of the traditional market. Spain is the second destination of our roses, especially in the last year, and then Canada.
I may have missed this, and I'm going to assume it's chrysanthemums, but which product is sold most, roses or chrysanthemums?
Each variety, roses, then fresh carnations, and then poms that maybe are chrysanthemums.
Wow. So I'm wrong. So it's carnations are the number one. That's amazing. Okay.
As variety, yes, but
Roses.
I told you the first products are the bouquets.
Yes. That I understand because it's a
Yes.
combination. So it's a little difficult to kind of know the right numbers. But you're saying it's roses, carnations, and then chrysanthemums. Or
Yes, and at the end, another beautiful flower we have, that's hydrangea.
which ones? Hydrangea?
Hydrangea, yeah.
Hydrangea, yeah. Colombian hydrangeas are stunning. So that's a great product.
Near $100 million.
$100 million
exports.
for just hydrangea.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy. So let me see here. Question real quick. This question, I think we kind of answered it. What is the impact of flower export industry on Colombia's economic and social development? I think we answered it just with creating 200,000 jobs and an infrastructure of education and giving women work and positions in the industry to help their households does a lot. But do you have anything to say into this?
I would like to highlight the seal, the Florverde seal we developed in Colombia many years ago, that also recognized internationally, that support the sustainability strategy of our industry. And also it's important to highlight the importance of the companies we have. We have more than 40 fresh flower export companies, many of them small and medium-sized traders and producers and associations. And we are reaching more than 85 markets in the world, in the 5 continents. And we are exporting around 1,600 varieties of 60 species.
And yes. I'm sorry, but the number of growers or importers or exporters that you said, I didn't get that right. Did you say 45 of them or 45?
4,400.
4,400 of them.
440, sorry.
440.
440, that's right.
I speak, people are going to be like, Sahid speaks Spanish? Yeah, I do speak Spanish.
Yeah, 440.
440, perfecto. So 440 exporters of flowers are in Colombia. So that's
and awesome. Many of them small or medium sizes companies.
Small or medium sizes and some major ones, but also small and medium sizes. 440, that's a great number. And I know people are going to be like, wow, I can't believe that. So thank you for that insight. That's super important. So what logistics processes for exporting flower? What is the logistics process for exporting flowers to the United States? So we have florists that watch this. We have wholesalers that watch it, supermarkets that watch it, that may not know the whole process yet, right? And they buy flowers from Colombia every day. Can you share that with us a little bit?
Yes, we have a connectivity and an infrastructure that connects us with the world and empower business. That includes 3,500 maritime export routes, 750 ports, and more than 140 countries are connected, and more than 2,400 export routes through 30 airlines we have in our country. We have connections with them, and we access to more than 500 cities directly or with air connections. At the and we have the same time to some of the main cities of the continent. Sorry, and we are an ideal destination for our services export. We also have Bogotá's El Aeropuerto El Dorado Airport, one of
Okay.
the most important airplane hub in Latin America in cargo volume and also in passengers. We have two main ports, especially port of Cartagena that serve many of the export to the States. And also we have the connection to the Pacific through the port of Buenaventura that has a
Wow.
strategic geographic proximity to the Panama Canal and is one of the closest ports to the Americas and to the East Asia.
Wow. That's you're very well situated for for shipping flowers. That's great. So,
Yes.
if you could address U.S. floral designers and independent florists directly, what key benefits, whether related to variety availability, year-round consistency, or sustainability, would you highlight to encourage them to source more from Colombia?
We think we have these several key benefits: variety availability, with over than 1,600 flower varieties and 60 different species, as I said. Year-round consistency, we can provide all year round, and sustainability. I think that the industry has been working very hard in sustainability, not only in the workforce but also in the water and in biodiversity and that other stuff.
I know it's a totally different topics, but you're talking about biodiversity. I have a friend of mine, Arnold Whitcamp from Thurs. He loves fruits, right? So when we went to Colombia together, we saw the craziest amount of fruits, right? And I know this is off topic, but how many per se varieties of fruits do you have in Colombia?
Uh, in a quick response, I
Yes.
think maybe 50. Uh, we also export a lot of physalis to the States. You know,
Okay.
uchua, the gold, the yellow one, is
Goji
like a
berry.
grape.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
goldenberry. We export
Gooseberry. Yeah, something like that. Yes. Yes.
something like that, and
Yeah.
we also export passion fruit, not to the States because
Okay.
at the moment we do have the phytosanitary access, but we export more than $7 million around the world, and we export a lot of avocado to the States
Yeah.
now.
And
Yeah,
man, there's so many different types of mangoes and so many different.
mangoes. Yeah,
If you're a fruit lover, go to Colombia, spend the week there, and go to the supermarkets. But again, let's go back to flowers. But fruits are amazing in Colombia. But that just shows the biodiversity in Colombia. It's amazing. Um, and yeah, let me just stop talking about fruits. But
no
um,
problem.
what targeted promotional campaigns or trade show initiatives has ProColombia launched recently to raise awareness of Colombian flowers among U.S. wholesalers, distributors, and retail florists? And how effective have these efforts been in securing new
Uh,
exports?
in in ProColombia, we implement targeted promotional campaigns and participate in trade shows to raise the awareness of Colombian flowers among the US in wholesalers, distributors, and retail florists. And these efforts have included showcasing Colombian flowers during the key events like Valentine's Day or Mother's Day, emphasizing their quality and diversity. These two special dates are really important for the industry in the sales around the year.
Gotcha. And we're also talking in the US, there's a big talk about micro holidays, right? Which is super important because it's not just Valentine's Day and Mother's Day and then everything else you're on your own. We're really seeing different things like Valentine's Day, Friendsgiving, Boyfriend Day, Girlfriend Day, Thank You Day. So all these things are great. And that kind of jumps to makes me jump into an odd way, jumped into something that I believe should be highlighted more to our industry is the flower festival, right, of Medellin. I think that I'm trying to see if I could visit this year, but I'm also going to Chrysanthemum Week. Chrysanthemum Week is something that's amazing. Dianthus Week is something that's amazing. Rose Week is something that's really cool as well. But I don't think we all do a good enough job of letting us know that it's there, or us knowing that it's there, and that lies on me as well as a media channel. But tell us about the Flower Week. Tell us, if you know about that, the history of the Flower Festival in Medellin, bueno, los potreros, right? Los potreros, los potreros y tal. I think that's very important. We might not be selling flowers that day, but there's always a reason to celebrate the culture of flowers, which is very important. Can you share with us a little bit about Flower Festival, I think it's called?
Yes, it's part of the festival that is used to take in Antioquia. In Antioquia, we have two like states in Colombia that produce flowers. Is here near Bogota, the capital, and Cundinamarca, that is our region. We are 2,000 meters up the sea, and then is Antioquia, where is Medellin, and Medellin also have a lot of flower industry. The festival is in Medellin in August, and it's a cultural festival. Not only the flower, it's also food and dance and music, but the flower is one of the most important elements of the festival. Um, but also, I think if the, is the moment that I also want to talk about Proflora, that is the professional space we have in Colombia. You are more than welcome to go to Medellin Flower Week in August, but you really need to be here in Bogota um, the next October in Proflora. Proflora is one of the world's most acclaimed floral trade shows that will take place here in Bogota on October 1 to the 3rd of this year 2025, and is an event that showcases why Colombia is a global leader in flower export. I hope you have the invitation and probably can share with the audience, because it's the most important, I think it's the most important show in the world, most important than the Netherlands show.
We've attended the year before last. We were invited as press to attend. This year, we're invited again as press to attend. So we actually work with you guys. So it is a great expo. It's an awesome expo with a great party. Andrés Felipe, you can't forget about that. But you get to see so many amazing farms and so many different varieties all under one roof, and it is huge. You know, this one's really big. Very big, and not only that, it's a beautiful country. So Bogota's a great place with great food, and then go to Medellin for a day, right? I know.
Yeah, that's true.
Then go to Medellin for a day because it ends on a Friday, so you can go Friday night, go to Medellin, you're there Saturday, Sunday, leave Monday, and I highly recommend it to go to Proflora, to go to Proflora to experience that, and then experience the Colombian culture. That because that's what keeps on bringing me back is the culture and the beautiful people of Colombia, and they're great people and the great flowers, right? But it's a great convention, a great expo, and we actually highlight it, and you could catch it on the Bloom Show. If you want to get an idea of what it looks like, go to the Bloom Show and click on Proflora Bloom Show, and you'll find 8 episodes from 2 years ago. And then keep an eye on us because we're doing more, and we'd love to have you there. So, Senor Andres, anything else you would like to share with our audience today?
Yeah, I finally want to mention that we are special to those that are based in the US market, that we also have ProColombia, has offices across the United States ready to work hand in hand with you, wholesalers, buyers, and other industry professionals interested in exploring partnerships and trade opportunity to Colombia. We hope still being the leaders providing our beautiful flowers in your market. And that idea of the special micro days, I think we can work a lot more in that.
And and I do want to say something because I do find that what ProColombia does is super important. And please help me explain it. ProColombia, I've been to the office in Brickell a couple times. I'm sitting down with your team there, and it's really about connecting the grower with potential wholesalers and distributors. So I really, really recommend if you're a Colombian grower to reach out because there's resources there for you. And if you are a wholesaler or a distributor, mainly distributor and importer based in Miami, reach out because they're literally there and they've done tours. I know that they've done tours of smaller farms to Flori Expo, which then went to tours at different distributors. So there's a lot of potential. And one of my missions, Andres, that's why I want you to hang out, is really to highlight that and to make that more available to the floral industry to know that there's actually boots on the ground here in Miami, Brickell, beautiful building, by the way, to connect, talk about what you need, what are the flowers that you're looking for, and they can connect you with the farms that are in their portfolio. Am I saying anything off wrong there?
No, no, no. You are most an ambassador for us. Thank you for your support. That's our work. Present and um, also help the people to know our products. As I said, the food products, but also the floral products. We can work a lot, as I said, hand by hand in innovation, in new businesses, in new spaces to promote the flowers. With the association in Colombia, we work a lot, for example, in fashion industry and flowers, and that kind of new ideas that we can work on.
Which is extremely important. As New Bloom Media and New Bloom Solutions, we truly believe in the support of the business, not only the sale of the product. How do we support the entire business structure so that the sale of the product happens, right? So that's something that I really, really like, and I see such great opportunities in really connecting it to the flower industry. So anybody that's watching, a wholesaler, distributor, grower, you want to learn more about Colombian flowers and you live in Miami, reach out to them and maybe go visit their offices because they're again in a beautiful building in Brickell. But give them a call and reach out to them. Anything else you'd like to say?
No, thank you very much. Nice to meet you. I think that all this work we do together to the industry, we are an important part of the industry, as I said, and the amount of flowers we send to the States. I think that it also is very important that the citizens, the buyers, all the society know more about the industry, the importance, not only in Colombia, but also in the States, and how the flowers give us like a mental peace day by day, not only in special occasions.
Yeah, 100%, and I appreciate that. I'm a big fan. I'm trying to convince my wife to move to Medellín, so maybe we'll see we will see each other more
Yeah,
often. Thank you for your time, Andres. I
you're
appreciate
welcome.
it. I'm gonna put you in the Bloom Room, hang out a little bit. I'm gonna say goodbyes and a couple announcements. Thank you, Andres,
Thank you,
very much.
Sahid.
Thank you.
Thank you. Nice to meet you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time, everybody. So thank you for joining and thank you for your time. As we know, look at the impact that our industry makes in Colombia. That's just so cool that we as a country are responsible for close to 200,000 jobs, with 60% of that, I'm hoping I'm getting these numbers right, 60% of that being women hired. It's such an incredible thing that we do. The other day I was, and about to launch a little video I did, and I was walking around asking people, it's a New Bloom signature question now, and asking people, what was the first memory of receiving a flower, giving a flower, and how did it make you feel? We had people sharing memories since they were 2 years old. Let that sink in, right? Since they're 2 years old, remembering something so simple as when they gave their mom a flower, or when their mom gave them a flower, or when they gave flowers to their neighbors. So we are truly, once we realize that we are in an industry that creates these memorable memories, because I'm not sure what other thing could create a memory like that, except for the first time I played Nintendo. But when a memory is like that, really it's something important. It's something really meaningful that we do as an industry. So it's really cool to see that we are able to not just help a country, help the world with flowers. So I want to do a little shopkeeping here and the different shows that we're going to have. On June 26th at 1 p.m., Beyond the Resume, How to Identify Talent for the Floral Industry with Pam Lopez of Pollen Talent. Pollen Talent is an amazing recruiting agency dedicated to the flower industry, and they cross Colombia, Ecuador, and the U.S. So it's a recruiting agency that works with the floral industry, dedicated to the floral industry, but helps hire in Colombia and Ecuador and in the U.S. and cross borders. So it's a great company, and Pam is here to share how not to miss floral talent and how to find that beyond the resume. Because nowadays we have AI and we look at resumes and we just kind of gawk at it. But when it comes down to it, how do you really find those gems that pop up? Then we have Mr. Joe Don Zetzi on what's next. We all know Joe Don is a legend in the supermarket industry. Very important guy, ex-VP for HEB, ex-president for IFPA, and now he's the owner and founder of Rock Bar Z, a consulting agency, and he will become a voice in our industry as well, coming soon, and we have some cool announcements, so tune in. Then we have July 10th, and I'm really excited about this. It's taken me 3 years to get him on board. A special episode of the Bloop Show featuring Jim McCann of 1-800-Flowers. We all know who he is. He's a pioneer in our industry, an entrepreneur to the core, and that is super exciting for me because one purpose of our industry is to inspire entrepreneurship, inspire innovation, inspire new businesses, and this gentleman certainly has done that throughout the years with the creation of 1-800-Flowers and the evolving of 1-800-Flowers. And it all started in one shop in New York. So it's such a cool story for me as an entrepreneur and someone that sees innovation, feels that, our industry, it's a big part that helps the industry to bring them on. So really excited about that. Make sure to tune in, set your calendars for July 10th. We will also have powerful Tim Huckabee, Profitable Florist, July 22nd. This is for florists. He'll be diving into best practices from the most successful flower shops, sharing insight, tips, and tricks learned from working with over 7,000 florists worldwide. So Tim Huckabee is going to be a fixture in our company, in our media channel, writing some columns and also showing up once in a while to do some takeovers. And we have a few people that will be doing that. So throughout the year, you'll be hearing some of our new content contributors, but more like columnists, column writers. So we're super excited to have that. I do want to give a shout out to Flori Expo. It was a great expo, and we're super excited to attend with the Bloom Show. So we have some videos coming out of different booth interviews, and we did host a VIP Bloom Together Flori Expo edition, which was awesome. So thank you to all the great sponsors that were there. I'm not going to say them because I might forget one, but thank you to all the great sponsors, and thank you to Flori Expo for hosting something that had great energy. Again, New Bloom Media is here to help you connect as a wholesaler or a farm, and we're here to help farms, companies, associations to build your brand trust and recognition year-round using a multimedia channel, and most importantly, connecting to community, which is super important. I thank you, everybody, for joining us and watching, and really, really hope you enjoy, and keep on tuning in and supporting, subscribing, and liking. Take care. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
The bloom, showing if they connect them blue.